Awesome. So our next series, guys, is going to be Namshar versus Cyan. Congrats to Zest for moving on into the round of 32. I will go ahead and update my stream title now. And we'll put out a new tweet as well. Alright, cool guys. So, without further ado, we will now head into this game. As we spawn in the top right-hand side of Eternal Empire, in the blue, from Infinity Gaming, it's Namshar. I will try and not peek out my microphone again, sorry about that. Our opponent down in the bottom left-hand side, in the red, it is Cyan. This is set to be a very exciting PvZ here, as let me go ahead and see where these guys are at in the bracket right now. Let me jump to Namshar. Alright, so this is another round of 64 match. The winner of this will be facing either Armageddon or Sue. So we will it is looking kind of likely that we'll follow this set. Could also hop up into Clem versus either Innovation, Rotterdam, or Zane, depending on when that series finishes up. If you want to check out that bracket for yourself, guys, you can do ! bracket in the chat, or !B, and get that link. The probe is here in the main base, being a little bit annoying, but it's a very standard opener from the side of Namshar. On the other side, we have that Nexus coming down before the Cybercore. It's really the only thing of note. It's kind of the one major change you'll see in some of these openers from Protoss, but will not be the case this time. Keeping things very, very standard. To get this game going. Super curious to see how Namshar is going to be doing today, what sort of form he is in currently, as he is a perennial competitor at these offline events, consistently does decently well, but has not been as dominant as, you know, the Serals of the world and the other top Zergs right now. So I'm very interested to see what his plan is here. How well he is playing. Nice little pylon block going to come down here from Cyan. Delay the third base for just a bit. Not going to end up mattering too much in the long run as the Adept Shade goes through the center. Going to be checking things out here. Looking to get eyes on the drone count here at the natural base. How much gas is getting mined up here in the main base, which of course we see. Just one staying on the gas here for Namshar. Back at home for Cyan, we have the Stargate opener coming out from him. This Overlord will get a pretty full scout. It is going to be an Oracle first from this Stargate, as the Overlord is pathed a little bit too wide. Zerglings on the other side engaging against this Adept. Ooh, might actually end up going down here. Nice job by Namshar, able to catch that Adept in the main base. Clearing it out, so that means no more cross-map vision until this next Adept arrives, and only having the one Adept is significantly worse than having the two to assist again with this Oracle. It is no longer going to be able to one-shot any workers, right? And so that's going to be a significant amount of time of DPS loss and of DPS gain for the Zerg units, right? The Queen's going to be able to shoot at it the entire time. The Lings will be able to survive a bit longer. That full shot extra really weakening the power of this Adept. And now, of course, not going to have it available for the Oracle coming in, as it does arrive here at the natural base. Let's see what it can get done. 2 kills going down. Gets a third, but will get repelled here by the Queens. But 3 going down and keeping it alive. Not too shabby for just the one Oracle invested so far. A second one now available, though. Will be moving across to join up with his buddy. Look to get some additional damage if he can, but for the most part, I think going to be relegated to those kind of revelation bots, right? Stasis traps here and there if the situation arises. Things like that. Namshar coming across with a handful of Zerglings. Going to be looking to pressure this Nexus and do any little bits of damage he can, force out some energy from that Oracle, and as soon as that energy gets committed, backs off, heads towards the Selnaga Tower, and will just be keeping himself safe here. We have the robotics facility on the way behind this for Cyan, as the third base finishes getting saturated here for Namshar, and he starts up his lair, and additional gases, going to be taking 4 additional, going up to 5 in total of these extractors. That's going to be quite a lot of gas income here for the Blue Zerg as he preps for the next phase of this game. Potential layer play coming up here from, Spire play coming up here from Namshar, just based on gas count alone right now. Let's to see kind of what exact composition he's going for. As the Roach Warren coming down, layer now about halfway done. A Forge getting added on for Cyan back at home as his third base is now finished up. Okay, harassment on 3 fronts here. Cyan coming in on the left-hand side with 4 adepts. We have the Oracles. We're here at the natural base, getting a nice stasis trap. Catching a few. Meanwhile, over here, trading out against some Lings. Finally getting some worker kills. The Oracle up in the main base only gets 2 with his stasis trap. And these last 2 adepts do get taken down, but 5 workers in total. Looks like 6, 7 in total go down. Does lose 1 of those Oracles as well as all 4 of those adepts. But in terms of cost efficiency, so far, in favor of Cyan, has been doing a little bit better of a job. Finding a little bit extra damage, 63 to 61 is that worker count overall, as the Phoenix hunts for any stray overlords out on the map. Handful of Zerglings coming over to the third base once again, but not finding much value as Glio Reconstitution comes up. We have the Hydralisk Den coming up as well as the Evolution Chamber here for Namshar, so he is setting himself up pretty well. He's going to be behind in upgrades pretty significantly, right? +1 weapons is already about halfway done. Of course, this isn't that's not uncommon for this matchup, but just something to keep in mind as these units continue to trade. Cyan's unit's going to be just a bit more efficient, pumping out a bit more damage, going to really help, especially in cases of like Zealots versus Zerglings. So Zealots will be able to get a 1 less swipe to get those kills. Things like that can make a difference in these, especially, scrappier engagements on the sides of the map before we get to these big pitched battles with a Lurker Den on the way already here for Namshar in his main base. That is very, very early. The 7-minute mark here for Namshar. +1 missile attack getting started up. Pneumatized Carapace as well as the Groove Spines all underway. More Roaches getting added on for Namshar as he wants to make sure he has a strong enough ground force to keep himself safe. The Phoenix gets cleared out here in the main base, as this hallucination will come in from the right-hand side around the natural base, just scouting out absolutely everything. He wants to know everything that is going on. He saw the Lurker Den but hasn't seen the Hydra Den. That's a little funny, but of course should know obviously that there is one. Here comes Cyan marching through the center of the map with these sentries, Warp Prism right above it. He's going to have charge, +1 weapons, and a couple Archons available for this fight. So this is a pretty decent looking army, and missile attack upgrade is still quite a ways away for Namshar. So a +1 timing with this army could prove fatal if he can find the right angle. And it's all going to come to angles and positioning here, especially for Namshar, as this army is both going to be smaller and less efficient, right? These Archons and Immortal do so much work against a Roach Ravager Hydra army. It is kind of ridiculous. So let's see how Namshar can hold on to this with 2 Queens here at the front. The Zealots going straight for the mineral line. A decent concave here. So force fields aren't great, but they do allow him to kill those first 2 Queens at the front. Files coming in as Namshar kites back. 80 armor supply to 64. Some more Roaches coming in from the bottom side as Zealots continue to get cleared out, but now the Archons are splitting up, and that's what Cyan has to be careful of. He needs to be careful about fighting on 2 fronts for too prolonged a period, as eventually one of them will start to get overrun. It looks like it will be the top side to give first. Losing an Immortal and an Archon now. The Zealots getting a nice wave and getting right on top of those Hydras on the bottom side, leaving them no room to escape. But finally, Namshar will have enough to rout this army and push them back, keeping his 4th base safe. But Cyan, mission accomplished, has equalized that worker count, 69 to 70. Still down, though, about 1/3 of the army supply at the moment, as Namshar is showing on the other side of the map, right outside this 4th base, and Cyan is quite a bit out of position for this. The Pylon's going to get targeted down. The Warp Prism, though, in the natural base. The Zealots going to be able to start their harassment. Good response from Namshar, immediately running those Roaches over, but it's still going to be quite some time. 4 drones going down as these Roaches start to damage onto the Nexus. We have more going down, but they will finally get aggroed onto some army and cleared out quickly by Namshar. 6 drones go down for 2 probes on the other side. And Cyan, once again, comes out ahead from this little bit of harassment. +2 weapons finishing up here soon for him, as well as Storm. And Storm is so good against this composition of Namshar. And I'm really worried for how he plans on taking a head-on engagement against this before Seismic Spines is done. And even with that, he does not have a ton of lurkers available right now. This is nice, though, denying mining here at the 4th base. And that's going to be really the question, right? Is looking for a way to fight around that Storm, to find engagements that he won't get absolutely shredded in, to find angles or find spreads where his Hydras can stay safe and not get decimated by Storm after Storm after Storm. And those lurkers play such a key role in that, especially with the Seismic Spines. Having that additional 2 range makes a massive difference. Zealot hiding up here on the top left side, trying not to get cleared out, but it looks like Namshar will commit enough to eventually hunt him down, cutting him off on both sides. +2 weapons finishing soon. Adaptive Talons on the way for Namshar as well. He really wants to make sure these lurkers can get themselves where they need to be and make sure they're applying damage for as long as possible in these fights. And that is really the name of the game for Namshar, keeping those lurkers alive and making sure to maximize their amount of uptime in terms of damage output. Here comes a Zealot checking out things, looking to get on top of that Zelnaga tower perhaps. Good job though by Namshar clearing it out as big concaves get set up. Cyan's Archon's taking a lot of damage. Good Storm into the center, but the lurkers in the back are doing a ton as they all hit onto the High Templar. Actually, a bit of a lineup happening there. And the last 2 have to get turned into an Archon. It will get targeted down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Immortals, 6 Immortals now here for Cyan. That is a very durable army and a lot of damage if he can get on top of these lurkers. And right now, he does not have an observer close enough to give him the vision he needs. And these lurkers are continuing their siege. Now moving forward, here the Immortals contesting the issue. But it does not look like they will have enough. The Observer actually gets sniped here as 2 more are getting added on behind this. We do have a bit of a run by those. Zealots find an opportunity. 5 drones going down. And once again, Cyan is able to find some drone damage whilst losing this 4th base. And he has so far not lost it. In fact, considering fighting for it again, but still no Observer with this. Makes things very tough, and he will go ahead and give up the Nexus. Luckily for him, already had a replacement on the way up below it. That was, of course, supposed to be a 5th base. Revelation comes down as the Observers get overhead this army. And he's looking to give him every opportunity to take this fight in the optimal position he can. Zealot's getting more workers killed over here at the 4th base. Now finally with enough units to rally over and clear that out. But it will force the army of Namshar to back off from the other side. More Zealots coming in now at the top left position. But it looks like this time it will get shut down a bit more handily by Namshar. Hydra's even finding the Warp Prism. Will be able to clear that out, but at the expense of 13 drones for Namshar, all going down here. Some very good damage for Cyan now, but it is still a economic lead for Namshar in terms of the number of workers, but it's really where that larva is having to get spent. He's having to remake so many of those workers to stay even on economy. The resources lost have actually been in favor of Namshar, despite that. So, Namshar, moving forward once again. Oh, about to be down. A full weapons upgrade once again. As +3 ground weapons is finishing up here shortly for Cyan. The +2 finished for Namshar not too long ago, and he has +3 missile attack on the way. As he comes in from another angle at this 4th base, the first lurker gets burrowed in. Good Revelation and good focus fire. Takes down the next one as I have a bit of a hiccup, sorry. Zealot's getting in this middle line up at the top center position, chasing him away, getting 8 kills in total. Oh my goodness. Cyan is absolutely vicious with these Zealot run-bys and continues to catch Namshar off guard very, very nicely as more lurkers are going to get morphed in here on the mid side of this map. 6 more to be exact, as +1 air weapons and shield upgrades are now on the way for Cyan. Looking to help these Archons be a bit beefier as the mothership is out for Cyan. He has the mama ship, he has the cloak, and now it's going to be on the defense against this lurker push. Coming up to its 4th base once again. And it will go ahead and back off here, getting itself into a concave. The creep spread is so very nice as it is right outside of this base. It looks like now Namshar is going to hold the top of this ramp and be waiting to come in to flank this army if it tries to push up. Time to rethink that action as well as he moves over the left-hand side. A big chunk of this army heading up to the top center where a few Zealots are drawing a lot of attention right now. Namshar is going to try and do the same thing with these Hydras moving over, breaking through the wall, and they're just going to trade out for as much damage as they can get here. Zealots are up on the ramp, going to be doing what they can as the Archons come up for the backside. Hydra's doing quite a bit of damage, though. They will take down all the Zealots. And now heading up into the main base, they're going to be looking to do any more damage they can. There's only a couple of pylons left, and actually he recalls to get up there. I don't know about that. High Templar uses a storm. Another High Templar gets sniped. The entire army is here right now as Namshar marches and now has arrived at the 5th base, is targeting down this Nexus, and it looks like this will get taken down very, very quickly. Very nice job by Namshar. The second time he's able to kill this base outright. He has more units over on the top side of this army as well. Lurkers on the ramp, ready to punish him for any stray movements that aren't approved by Namshar. But it looks like Cyan will be able to escape for now, escape that fate. Hydra's coming in on the south side once again, looking to clear out their static defense and do some economic damage. We have Cyan coming down to respond. But it looks like the Hydras will be able to escape yet again. So very well done by Namshar here as he now is pushing towards the natural base. The Lurkers getting broed in. The Hydras pushing forward. Takes down the Archon. Taking down the Cybercore now as well. And here comes the main army of Cyan trying to fight this off. Time Warp goes down right in the center of this army. But the Hydras on the left are just going to push straight through it and head into that natural base mineral line. The Void Rays... the Mothership Raids are doing what they can to finish off these Lurkers, but it's still they are still alive and they are still trading out so very nicely as the robotics facilities here at the natural get shredded down. Namshar is finishing off the natural base and now marching up into the main. The first carrier is available, the second carrier is now available, but Cyan is taking game-ending damage, and he will go ahead and tap out here in game number 1, this best-of-3 series. What a push by Namshar there, right? I mean, just great recognition of his state in that game and of where his positions of strength were. And then using that to such great effect, right? Not allowing any opportunities for Cyan to make a big concerted push. All the damage we saw Cyan getting that game was from Zealot run-bys or from, really from Zealot run-bys almost entirely. And so the fact that we didn't see... we weren't able to see that transition into a bit more full of an attack, I think is ultimately what ends up costing him there. Not having the, the additional oomph, whatever that may be, right? Whether it's whether it's more AoE behind it or more High Templars there to get more storms, I'm not sure. But definitely could have made the difference there in game number 1. Game 2 will be caught up here shortly, guys, as we wait for the invite. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out tonight for the IEM Katowice North American Qualifiers. I am trying to hit 1,500 followers, guys, so if you haven't followed the stream, please do. Would really appreciate it. Give you a shout-out between the games and stuff, though I have to have alerts off. Have to have alerts off for today, unfortunately, but still, we'll thank you all the same. Waiting now for Namshar and Cyan to get us invited into this game. Sweet. Game number 2, guys, on Triton. Coming up here in just a minute. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and hanging out. As Cyan is ready, so just going to give Namshar a second here. You hear that sound? Looks like we'll be getting into it, guys. Game number 2 of this round of 64 matchup. Who will come out on top? We will have to find out. And the winner of this series, guys, will be moving on to face off against Sue. So we will go ahead and follow this series into that next match. We head into game number 2. Up in the top left-hand side, in the blue from Infinity Gaming, it's Namshar. His opponent down in the bottom left right-hand side of the map, in the red, it's Cyan. Let me go ahead and keep myself from peeking out as much on my microphone. Sorry about that, guys. I take a look at my sound settings real quick, try and double check that everything is all good. Alright, cool. Yeah, looks like we are indeed all good as my settings on the back end of everything. The natural hatchery coming up for Namshar, as he will go ahead and take his gas and pool behind it. Very standard stuff. Natural expansion coming down for Cyan as well. So both players following the playbook here. Like Cyan make carriers too late. I definitely agree. I think if he adds on carriers sooner in that last game, I think we could have seen some better comeback there, or even just more of something, right? Whether it was, I don't think Immortals was the right call. I think you're right. I think it would have been carriers to be the call. That and maybe some more shield batteries might have been enough to let him hold. Or perhaps if he's able to, no, I feel like that's it. You know, if he's able to do that, or if he sets himself up to go for a bit of a timing attack a little bit sooner than that in that last game, maybe he's able to break Namshar then in like a wave of whenever he's droning or something, rebuilding those drones that he kept killing with the run by. Hard to say. As Cyan keeps an eye at the front, Stargate comes down in his main base. This natural will get established for Cyan. Third base coming up already. So no real opportunity to block anything here for Cyan. Going to send his Adept over all the same. Try and find some damage if he can. Mostly just trying to force an overreaction from Namshar if he could, right? Try and get some queens out of position. Try and, you know, make him freak out. See, and mainly, of course, grab that information. Looking for the gas count in the main base. Of course, any tech up there as well. Phoenix will be the first unit out from this Stargate, and that will allow him to clear out this Overlord very quickly. Cyan, with just about full knowledge of what's going on here, knows about the drone count, knows about how many gases he has, and we'll go ahead and back off with his Adept as a result of that. Central base continues to get saturated here for Cyan. Phoenix begins its hunt, and actually will just barely miss that first Overlord. Oracle on the way. 3 more gateways getting added on as the Twilight Council comes up as well. So Cyan prepping for potentially Dark Templar drops here as a follow-up to this. Generally speaking, that's the kind of flavor of the month right now in terms of meta builds that are popular right now. 3 Spore Crawlers finishing up here in all 3 bases, so he's going to be very, very safe against this Oracle. Let's see what it can do anyways. It'll try and come in near the 3rd. Queen already involved, Spore Crawler already involved as well, and he will have to just immediately fly back out of there. Takes down 1 drone, but not much more. And it's actually going to be Resonating Glaives behind this. Okay. So he is going to go for a pretty heavy attack with these Adepts. With the Resonating Glaives, giving them that 30% extra attack speed. It's very significant, and it can make 45% attack speed, excuse me. It can make these Adepts go absolutely crazy, especially against just Zerglings. They shred them so fast. It can be very tough to hold on against as the defending player. Namshar is going to need to identify this very quickly and make sure he doesn't allow these Adepts into his mineral line at any point. Just a few seconds alone with your mineral line can be enough for these guys to clear out entire mineral lines at a time. Catching him with these Zerglings right now is good. Ooh, and seeing that big wave of Adepts coming across as well is massive. He knows now exactly what is happening here. When he actually just finished a big wave of drones right now, so doesn't have as much larva as he perhaps would like. All of it now getting used to build those roaches, and he's going to have to try and hold on. The Resonating Glaives is about to finish up here. The roaches popping out now, 12 seconds away, as the Shade's going to go into the main base. We'll see where they end up going off to. As these Adepts now trying to down the Queen, up in the natural base now. All 5 Queens coming around, actually, as more roaches rallying in as well. Shading up now into the main, trying to find more of these worker kills. More roaches and more queens are arriving as 5 workers have gone down. But so far, 5 workers isn't too shabby if he can clear out the rest of this. The Shades go back into the natural base. There's still units here waiting for it as they continue to fight to the death. More depths coming over and shading towards the 3rd base as the last of these in the main will get cleared out. Now it is just the 3rd base under assault as the 10th worker dies, the 12th, 14th, 15th. Getting some very nice damage and a lot of lost binding time as well. Really, really nice damage. 27 going down. 28 going down. Nope, just 27. There's 28. Really nice focus fire here by these adepts as one finally does make it into the main base yet again. 32 in total going down. That is so significant here for Namshar to be losing. I mean, look at this economy now. I mean, resources lost. Only about 150 in favor of Cyan here, actually. The main problem just being the fact that Cyan now has a 4-worker lead and will not show any signs of giving up on that in the near future. The Ling's heading to the 3rd base, trying to clear out more, but won't be able to. Nice bit of damage here by Namshar. Clears out 1. Got a couple of adepts up in the top right position, waiting for their opportunities. More roaches continue to get pumped out. Ooh, some slings with the run by down here in the bottom right side. Bottom left side, excuse me. Gets a couple kills, 3 in total. Cyan marching straight to the center. It's going to be showing up on creep here very soon. Quite a few sentries available, and 2 immortals along with those adepts. Let's see if this is enough to break him here. He's down to armor supply pretty significantly. And only up about 2 workers at the moment. He's marching forward. Here come the Biles. So many sentries here, actually. This is a lot of force fields available as a couple of adepts are going to head into that middle line, try and draw that attention away. Concave is up now for Namshar as he works on defense. His queen getting targeted down up on the top side. More Lings flooding in now as the roaches are just doing so much work against these adepts, and those immortals are not having the desired effect here for Cyan. More Biles come through as the army both armies back up, actually. Namshar backs up to deal with these adepts once and for all. And that buys Cyan the time he needs to not lose this army outright and to get another few warpins ready. Here comes the Shades going straight through this. I don't think he should commit. Yeah. Lings coming around now with those Roaches and Ravagers behind them. 2 Stargates get thrown down here for Cyan as double immortal production, or excuse me, just single immortal production has been continuing. Or it might be double immortal production. Yeah, he does have 2 Robos. This army of Namshar. They are just keeping an eye on things right outside the main base. Ooh, meanwhile, a lot of harassment going to go down here. Depth Shades coming in. At the same time, here at the 3rd base, more depths getting in. 5 workers going down. 6. Oh, actually not quite the 6. As the natural base is getting cleared out as well. The 3rd base also getting routed by some Lings and some good old drone aggression. Ten drones in total went down, though, as part of that harassment. All the same, that resources loss still favors Namshar, but only barely. As the rest of the roaches push forward and they actually get through the ramp, they target down this immortal and force out a recall immediately. All 4 immortals get recalled here, and they're all heading towards that main base. Cyan sees an opportunity and is pushing through to take it. Files come down, takes down 2 of those dual batteries. Namshar cycling around the left-hand side. The Lings get into the middle line. Roaches, excuse me. Oh, man. Very, very nice damage here. 17 probes go down. That was exactly what Namshar needed here in game number 2 to really open this game up for him, as Mutalisks are on the way in that production tab, 11 at a time. Coming out here. army of Namshar is returning home, but it finds a couple of stray units here in the center, taking them down very nicely. Cyan marching through the center. Hey, what's up, Beardy? Hope you're well, my dude. Oh, man, the Mutas actually showing themselves here up against the Phoenixes. Oh, man, it looks like the Mutas are getting the upper hand of it so far. Good focus fire as 4 workers go down to a run-by down here at the 3rd. Those Phoenixes are going to have to come home and help deal with this somehow. But the Biles keep coming. Down goes the Nexus, and the Adept Shades come through. Let's see if he commits. Oh, man, the Adepts shaded through onto the other side, and with the help of the Immortals, they are cleaning house right now. So much damage coming out from the red Protoss army as he pushes this all the way back across towards the halfway point of this map. 67 to 80 is that army supply, 66 to 52 that economy, worker count I should say. Economy very much in favor of Namshar at the moment as the Queen gets some good first shots onto the Warp Prism. The Mutalist running forward. He's targeting down the Warp Prism. Good job by Namshar as he takes it out. Now the Phoenixes are here getting involved. The Mutas change target as the Roaches and Ravagers battle it down on the front lines. A lot of these Adepts getting very low as Biles continue to come through. But finally the last Mutalist falls. He's down to just Roaches and a few Ravagers here defending his 4th base. Only 8 workers here as well. And very nice fight here from Cyan. Getting some good value for his units, but still not getting that economic damage, right? I mean, he trades out much better that time. Resources lost, now about dead even. But that economy is still so much better here for Namshar. The natural base is about half mined out. The main base is about half mined out here for Cyan. His 3rd base is now only just finished up and finally done. Good job here with the Phoenixes. Gets in, gets a few drone kills, and backs on out. Namshar are going to send some units around the left-hand side as he starts up some Corruptors. Really going to help out with dealing with those Phoenixes. Phoenix don't do the best against that army. Against Corruptors, I should say. Phoenixes cycling around the left-hand side. Reminder, guys, winner of this best of 3 moves on to face Sue. As the Shades come out, the drone's going to be able to get back on this 3rd base, but not before getting cleared out of the Adepts. These Phoenixes find another Overlord, which is very nice, but not, not a big deal at this point in the game. 140 of 192 supply, not exactly about to get supply blocks. As Charge and +2 are started up for Cyan back at home. Charge is actually very late at the 14.5-minute mark here. Very, very late. Well, I'm actually very surprised that we haven't seen that earlier in this game. No 4th Nexus yet for Cyan either is going to start to continue to impact him here as he starts to mine out the minerals at his 3rd base now as well. So that money situation is getting worse and worse for him as time goes on here, guys. My screen? No, it is a little messed up, huh? Alright, we'll have to fix that after this game. Roach is pushing forward here, catching this Adept in the center. But of course that means Cyan knows where this army is at and what he's wanting to do. Good vision for him so far. He knows where the Corruptors went. Looking for this army, looking for that opportunity, but it's just the Corruptors here. Applying a bit of pressure. More minerals exhausting here as his main base completely mines out, and there is still no 4th base for the side of Cyan. This is so crucial to have. He needs a 4th base. Be able to continue making money here and to continue fighting Namshar all across the map, and it is not happening. Only just now getting it put down, and that is going to be a prime target for Namshar as the Corruptors come over and spot it. Very least spots him planning on it. There he goes. Finally throws it down. Centrifugal hooks about 10 seconds out as well. Going to give Namshar a very nice tool to help him with these fights, especially on creep. Those Banelings going to be so very speedy. Roaches going around the right-hand side. Lings, Ravagers, and Banes here in the center. Moving through as the Phoenixes over on the left-hand side. At the moment, useless. Main army, though, with some good force fields. Catches about half those Roaches, clearing them out very nicely. Namshar coming up the main side with the Roaches and Ravagers. The Banelings rolling around the left. And it looks like the Banelings are heading straight for the 3rd base. In the middle line they go. 18 workers here. Let's see how many he's left with. Oh, man. 13 go down as Namshar finds his mark. And the Corruptors are here in the natural base as well. Oh, man. 19 go down. He's down to 33 probes. The Adept Shades getting chased down over here at the third base and not going to end up committing. Probably a wise move on his part, as one final connection takes down a few more, up to 23 drone probe kills. And Cyan's income, I mean, look at this. For the past 5 minutes, Namshar has been making thousands of minerals more per minute, and he looks primed to move on in this bracket and face off against Sue in the round of 32. Cyan, I think, is aware of his state in this game. He has a good army supply, however, with all of the income aside. If he can win a fight, that would be massive, but now he's going to be very all in as his third base gets taken down. Cyan in desperate need of getting something done with this army, and he's pushing forward. A lot of Banelings getting morphed in right now. This is a great opportunity. Force Field's cutting off a lot of them as well, but now finally getting through. The Banelings flooding into this army, and oh my goodness, getting a lot of damage onto these units, but they're still alive. Still quite a few of these mortars alive, actually. 8 of them still here. And Namshar has to back away. A lot of those Zerglings are still across the map. The Corruptors still across the map as well. Those Corruptors aren't going to be much help until that Greater Spire finishes up here in just a moment. This third base going to be taking a pounding from these Immortals, taking that base down very, very quickly. Units on a bit of a bad rally, getting picked off here as the Phoenixes get involved. Corruptors now here can be able to draw away some of that fire and especially help against those Phoenixes. More units getting rallied across the far side as Cyan is desperate to get any damage he can inflict right now, and Namshar knows he just has to hold on as he keeps these drones alive, moving them around the right hand side. We have the Zealots coming in now at this top base. Drone's gonna have to get involved to save that queen if he wants to. Corruptors getting caught here in the center now as well. Okay, this is looking doable for Cyan as he makes this game more and more hectic. The Lings trading out against an Archon. That's not what he wants, but down it finally goes. 12 drones going down. 19 probes have fallen, though, at the same time. Taking Cyan down now to 14, but he has double the army supply. 63 to 34. Namshar out of money. Despite having more drones, despite having more income for so much longer, he has no way to spend anything right now. 2,300 gas in the bank, but next to no minerals and next to no mineral income as this top right base only just now starts mining. It's Cyan in control and in the driver's seat as he now takes down another hatchery here. On the far side of the map, we have the Zerglings looking for any of the last workers, and he will go ahead and make sure that Cyan is completely bankrupt as well. 10 minerals in the bank to the 50 in the bank of Namshar at the moment. That top right base, the only mining position for Namshar, as the Hive will get taken down. 3 Broodlords getting made. That is crucial. The units that can shoot up right now that are available for Cyan, 2 Stalkers and 2 Archons. Those alone, those Broodlords alone may be enough to secure this game. But it's not guaranteed. Namshar still has to fight so carefully. He still has a lot of idle workers there in the center as well that he could transfer up to that top right base if he wants to. Where are those Broodlords right now? Broodlords are actually here in the main base. They're actually already getting involved here. They've already taken down the Stalkers and now looking to take down the Archon. Oh my goodness, there's just one unit that can shoot up left alive here. And oh my, this could be such a heartbreaking way to lose this for Cyan. After being so far behind, after bringing this game back such a long way to get to this point. 30 workers to nothing. Namshar holds on, and with these Broodlords, I think we'll be able to bring this back. The Immortals are heading back home to try and make a defense, to try and make something happen here, but there's just a single Archon that can shoot up on this map. There are no cannons available. He does have a forge, but he has no workers and only enough money to make a single one. This is a dire situation for Cyan. The Immortals, though, find the roaches. That's very nice. But I think Namshar should realize here pretty soon that there's nothing to answer these Broodlords. And as they make their way across the map here, he will eventually put an end to this. Third Broodlord is actually left alone in the main base. That's a little less than ideal. Not going to have that available to help him finish things off here. These Broodlords are just looking to kill that Archon and to kill the last of these units. The drones going to try and bait him up to this top position that is now rebuilding a spawning pool. So Namshar can start thinking about spending getting some Zerglings, which will then allow him to get some Banelings very soon afterwards. Still with a lot of gas in the bank as this army moves towards the top right nexus, or the hatchery, excuse me. The one zealot in that mineral line getting cleared out. The Archon taking some damage as the Broodlords arrive. This is it for Cyan, fighting to stay alive in this qualifier and force a game number 3. Namshar looking to win this series and move on to face against Sue. The Broodlords targeting down that Archon. The Broodlings now available, coming in hot. It's a lot of damage on that Archon. He's down to 60 shields. A few more shots will do it. It's a third Broodlord arrives as well. And down goes the Archon. Now the Immortal's trying to recall, but he loses one and almost loses a second. Cyan, with 2 Immortals left alive in his main base, will call GG. Namshar takes the game and the series, and will move on to face off against Sue. Congratulations to Namshar. Very well played series, as he really controls Cyan very, very well, keeping him very much contained and not leaving really too many opportunities for him to take the initiative in that game and take the win. GG, well played. I'm going to throw it to a quick little break screen, guys, while we get the next series set up. It's going to be Namshar taking on Sue. We'll be right back here, guys, with that next series here in just a minute. Thanks so much for watching, and if you haven't followed the stream, guys, please do. SC2 Stats, thank you for the follow. Hey, Stats, thank you. And Sukira and Chirosu SC, thank you guys so much for the follow of the stream. We'll be back, guys, here in just a couple minutes with Namshar versus Sue here in just a minute.